New Year, everyone. First edition of the crossover in 2015. Ravi, man, what you got to say to the people?
It's a very somber day, Brian, because I just attended a funeral today.
Mm.
It was to mourn the passing of the New York Knicks season. It was a beautiful ceremony. Patrick Ewing and his knee pads were there. He had some kind words. Even Anthony Mason showed up. He put R.I.P. on the side of his head. Charles Smith. He tried to leave early, but he got blocked in 3 times. So.
Oh.
The only question now is who gets custody of Tim Hardaway Jr.
Oh. Okay. Oh man, from that segue, man, let's discuss. So last week we literally just finished recording the show.
Yeah.
And it came across the wire maybe like an hour or two later about a 3-way deal. You guys know the specifics by now. I'm not getting into it. Pretty much the key components are leaving. Dion Waiters heads to Oklahoma City. J.R. Smith, Shumpert head to Cleveland. And pretty much the Knicks get draft picks and they get a bunch of garbage pretty much that they cut literally the same day. So, let's take from the Knicks standpoint first, man. I don't know. Firstly, who do you think just won the deal?
I think the deal is very dependent on how J.R. Smith turns out. How he fits in with Cleveland.
True.
I think that's where it turns out because I think Shumpert is an upgrade over Waiters from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
Not saying that Shumpert is this big lockdown defender, but I think definitely he's a better perimeter defender than Waiters.
Yeah, he fits.
From a team, but it goes back to J.R. Smith because from a team that's had chemistry issues for the entire season so far, adding J.R. Smith to the mix is a questionable move, but it depends on how he fits in. So, if he fits in and he falls in line, I think Cleveland's the clear winner.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. And I think, as far as Mozgov, he's a competent big.
That's the better trade, I think, of the two, actually. The Mozgov deal, I think they definitely needed that. But I'll just say in this case, everyone's focused on, as you were, focused on J.R. Smith. And J.R. Smith, for the most part, everyone loves to see about J.R. Smith. And yeah, he's a bit of a knucklehead. For the most part, J.R. Smith does do a lot of J.R. Smith things, but I think for the most part, he falls in line for the most part. To me, Dion Waiters is an interesting dude. Because if Dion Waiters, in this case, couldn't play with LeBron, who's willing to give him the ball, how do you think he's going to do out in Oklahoma City?
That's what I'm looking at.
And even Reggie Jackson. How do you expect to get the ball? Reggie Jackson, Westbrook are giving each other daggers. You think he could get there, start calling police for himself? So, I know what you're trying to do. I like what they're trying to do because they're looking for another dynamic scorer, which I think they do need. But I don't know if that's the guy they needed. Let's put it that way. But you gotta give up something to get something type of thing. So I think that's gonna be the more interesting experiment, to be honest with you. And the Knicks, I just think. Getting a lot of cap space to me means nothing.
It means nothing. It's they don't have a set plan. They don't have a plan around what they're going to do right now.
They have a plan. They think they're going to score a whole bunch of free agents this summer. That's their plan. That's the Knicks' plan every year. And how's that working out?
It's similar to the Lakers' plan. They think, this is LA, this is New York, and people are just going to flock, and it's not happening like that. Right. Even from, you can look back on hindsight, but I don't think Fisher was the right choice for this group. I honestly think that Phil should have coached this first year and really put his imprint on things for that first year, and then transition it off to that next guy. Wow. But I think and to Phil, with Phil as well too. Yeah, I think he needs to be a little more hands-on. He's back and forth between New York and LA, and it's like if you're gonna do it and be there, be present. It's I don't know. I really don't see a plan going on with New York right now. Same with LA.
Yeah, there's not much to say. I think we wasted 5 minutes enough with these guys because any deal had J.R. Smith and Dion Waiters. 5 minutes is more than enough time to discuss it, as far as I'm concerned.
That's it.
That's it, man. Let's move on. So it is the new year, and with every new year, a lot of people have resolutions. And I thought, I think we came about it. It was more Ravi's idea, and I think it's a great idea. We should have here the crossover our own resolutions for the NBA, at least for a few individuals or teams in the NBA. So, Ravi, man, you had this great idea. I'll let you kind of take it from here. What resolutions you like to give certain people or teams there?
Let's start off. So I think right now, let's touch on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay.
So I'll start with LeBron. So there are generals and there are soldiers. And right now, LeBron is trying to be a general in the term of making GM moves off the court, and that's affecting him being a soldier on the court. I think he needs to just let management do their job and just focus in on playing ball like he did in Miami. I think when he's shown, Pat Riley really ran that ship in terms of personnel moves down in Miami, and LeBron was just able to focus on playing basketball, and that resulted in 2 championships. So that's that's one for LeBron. In terms of Cleveland as a team overall, okay, so we got to move on to Kyrie Irving. So Kyrie Irving, he has to play his position. He has to fall in line, run the offense. Once a team has success, all the individual accolades that'll come after. He'll get his recognition once the team has success and performs well. The other point is for Cleveland, you got to feel the love. You got to utilize Kevin Love, play to his strengths, because he's shown that he's been unhappy so far, and he can leave at the end of the season. If he leaves at the end of the season, they get nothing for him. That's not a good look.
True.
Yeah.
Any other resolutions for anybody else, or?
Yeah, we got a couple more here, so we'll move on quickly to the Lakers. I got something for them because Brian, you and I both know life is about the buying and selling of dreams.
Okay, where's this going? Okay.
And the Lakers have been trying to sell us the dream that they're contending and they're in contention, and we clearly know that they're in a rebuilding process stage. Jim and Jeannie need to get on the same page in 2015. It's like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, and just have a unified synergy to some extent as to the direction that they're going with this team. Because right now, it's the Lakers are second to last in the Western Conference, and they're still trying to play this narrative like they're being competitive. And we clearly see it's not happening. So I think, and Lakers fan, they don't want to hear this one, but you got to follow the Celtics lead. The Celtics traded away Rondo. That's a clear communication to the fan base that they are in a rebuilding stage. The fan base, for the most part, I think they know that and they're fine with it over in Boston. And if you look at what the Celtics have been doing, I think Ainge has done a really good job in terms of planning for the future, because the Celtics have 11 first-round picks over the course of the next 4 years. So that puts them in a fantastic position to get some young pieces and start building another contender.
Okay, cool. All right,
Okay.
who's
And
your last?
my last point, it's something very drastic, but this is for the NBA as a whole. So right now, as it stands, today, January 11th, Minnesota, Philly, New York, each have 5 wins. 5 wins. That's embarrassing. You got these owners are billionaires. You got players that are millionaires, and it's embarrassing. And I think what you need to start doing is you start giving the number one pick to the team with the best record in the league. Forget about the worst record.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge you on this resolution, because you can't have it both ways. You can't want the Boston system, which eventually is gonna be just like Minnesota, a bunch of draft picks, and they're gonna be 5 and something next year, or Philly. And then at the same time, you're ripping on poor Philadelphia, who, by the way, the young players play pretty well now. Because I think they got 6 wins now. I think did they win last night?
Did they? I thought it was. I checked it this morning. I'm pretty sure it said 5.
Okay,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I get it. Boston's doing what they need to do given the current system. But 5 wins for a professional basketball team, I think, is ridiculous, and I think it's time that we stop rewarding mediocrity and underperformance. And I think it'll force owners to make smarter moves, be more diligent, and field competitive teams.
Someone's got to be bad. Someone's
got to be bad, but it's a 5 wins?
Yeah, but none of these teams are going to be the worst team ever in this case. With the Philadelphia 76ers for the 70s, what 7 games or something like that? No one's going to be in that range. All of them are probably going to get double-digit wins when it's all said and done. If Philadelphia scratch 5 or 6 wins, they're going to get 10 wins or so when it's all said and done. When teams start resting guys and stuff, they're going to get wins. New York's going to get a few more wins. As bad as it looks now, they're going to get a few more wins.
They'll get a few more wins, but like you said, like you just like they're gonna get a few more wins contingent on guys resting and contingent on other factors, not contingent on the effort that they're giving.
Here's my thing. I don't understand why it seems like the NBA is the only league where everyone is just so upset when there's really bad teams. There's 0-50, 0-16 teams in the NFL all the time, or 1-50 teams. No one's saying we got to change the rules and change the draft for them. No one does that. Same thing with NHL, or even in this case here, like Major League Baseball. There's some putrid teams in baseball. It lose like 100 games every year. The Kansas City's losing 100 games every year for eons before this year. And no one batting eyelashes like, oh, well. Same with the Pirates. I like the Pirates. I know the Pirates stunk for 20 years. And no one's batting an eyelash. Got new stadium and everything. You know, it's that word. But
I want to see effort from some of these guys, from some of these teams, and not just the players, from on the owners' part, because a lot of these owners are just sitting back, making money, and putting a horrible product on the court, and still collecting checks.
Well, I mean, that goes to my point that we mentioned a few weeks back about this case here, trying to ask players to take discounts when y'all, in this case here, you guys are really putting in the work. I think, to me, that's a bigger thing more so that if the players are putting effort. Them boys from Philly play hard. Say what you want. They might be outmatched, outgunned, but Philly guys play hard. You know, Knicks guys, for the most part, are outmatched. I don't think anyone's really sitting there gas bagging in New York either. Carmelo's still putting up numbers and playing hard with a bad back. I mean, you can say what you want about Carmelo. He ain't really get tossing it in. You know, as same goes to Minnesota. The young fellas are playing hard, but they're outmatched. You got 3 rookies essentially play on their team. 3 rookies. Like, really? When's the last time you heard that? Essentially 3 rookies playing. Because, I mean, Bennett played, 15 games last year? You might as well call him a rookie of the 2 they got. And 2 of them are starting. Like, come on. When's the last time you've seen that happen? 2 starting.
I want to see a more competitive product on the floor.
Well,
and I think it's something to think about. You know, just to throw it in there, shake it up a little bit. Because we're sticking with the status quo here. And it's going to be the same old story next year.
Right. I mean, bad teams are going to always be around, man. It's never going to change, but fair enough. That is the case. I would say, speaking about bad teams, in this case, a resolution. This is my only resolution. Knickerbockers, specifically Phil Jackson. Realize, Phil, I know it's your ego. Realize, though, it's the players, not the system. That's all I got to say. It's the players, not the system.
Well, I think the New York Knicks should forget about shapes altogether. Forget the triangle offense, the rectangle offense, the square offense, the circle offense. Just forget about the shapes. Just play ball.
Yep.
Just play ball.
Yep.
Get some guys that fit. Get some guys with some good chemistry. You got Carmelo and you got Tim Hardaway Jr. fighting in the locker room. You know, as the reports say, we don't know how true it is or not, but I mean, you got to fix the chemistry there.
Yeah. In this case here, fixing the chemistry is one thing, but it's the players, not the system. Get over the system. Anyhow, Ravi, where can the good folks find you, man?
You guys can find me at Mr. Ravi_Porvita.
And you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM. I was tweeting out like crazy today, man, just giving my playoff thoughts on the NFL side of things, but always got a lot of hoops discussion as well too, man. Anyways, man, once again, it's great to start a new year off with you, Ravi. It's going to be a lot of fun because now the fun's about to begin. I kind of consider it it's not the official second half of the season just yet, but we're getting close to All-Star time, and that's when the fun really starts kicking up when we get near All-Star break.
Exactly. Looking forward to the All-Star break. Looking forward to seeing seeing what these starting lineups are. We're gonna have some thoughts on that.
Oh, yeah.
The East starters, the West starters.
For sure.
And just to reiterate, the best team in the league with the best record gets the number 1 pick. There we go. That's it.